All right, guys, welcome to the Ignite Initiative. We have a really good guest on today, Mike Pantano of Pantanos on Long Island, who's absolutely crushing it lately. It's really awesome to see. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. We love to have you on.
Part of it.
Love to have you on. So, Mike, give us a little background of Pantanos. Just how it started, basically.
So how it started. So basically, I had my own DJ company when I was 15. So
True entrepreneur.
Yeah, so I just always did odds and ends. Like, I was the kid that when I was at a lumberyard, it's a true story, at a lumberyard, like maybe I was like 16 years old.
Okay.
So all of a sudden there was an older lady at the counter, and I hear her speaking to the guy behind the counter. Do you know anybody who could paint? So I heard her. I basically said, like, excuse me. I'm like, if you need me to, I said, I'm a painter. I can paint for you. So I remember. So I lived in Lawrence. So she lived in Far Rockaway, right on the border.
Okay.
So she said, okay, come by. So next thing you know, I was literally painting her whole first floor. I drove there on my scooter.
How old were you?
I was like 15, 16 years old. I was just painting it. So that's the drive that I had. I'm like, I could do it. I could do it. I could paint your house.
And it's a simple process of knowing, like, there's a problem and that somebody needs it to be resolved, and you can resolve it for exchange of dollars.
I really feel it's more of the approach and the confidence that maybe you have within yourself to make them believe you could do it. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt.
And I think that's 95% of the battle. And then after that, you kind of figure it out. So that being said, that's basically how Pantanos came about. Like,
amazing.
I have no food background. Zero. So I am a born salesman. So
Gotcha.
I happen to sell food.
Yeah.
And my food is sold by Pantanos.
Gotcha.
So that being said, there really is no right way to make anything. Is there a right way to make mac and cheese?
No.
Is there a right way to make penne alla vodka?
No. It's your own style.
Right.
That's the creativity, too, that you can put into
style.
it.
So I just started when I was 21. I actually failed on my first store. I had a store I opened up in Oceanside. I called it the 50s Deli. I had a whole 50s theme, 50 cents coffee, all that other stuff.
Cool.
And I failed miserably. I was open for like 3-4 months.
That's important to note, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, I failed, miserably. So I ended up just closing the store. So at that point now, I'm a little like pissed off that, I spent this money and I lost this money. So we pulled all the equipment out. I put it in storage. Like I said, I was still living with my parents in Lawrence. And then I found a location in Lawrence, in my hometown. So I was the DJ and went to high school there. So I had a little bit of a following. And nice. I ended up opening my first Pantanos there at 269 Burnside, right next to the Lawrence Diner. And then everything else after that, to be honest with you, I don't really know how it happened. It just happened. You know what I mean?
I know one thing that probably built that was just consistency of hard work every day, correct?
I guess so, but I don't look at it as hard work. Like Michael Jordan. Does Michael Jordan think he's a great basketball player?
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
Yeah,
right? He just
keeps on going.
Everybody tells him, "Oh, you're the best," and they look at him like, "What are you talking about? This is how I play."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't think I'm doing anything different than the other people out there, but
it's got to be something.
In retrospect, I am.
It's got to be something, right?
I'm doing something drastically different that I'm willing to constantly, and I think this is probably what led to my success, constantly willing to take chances.
Gotcha. It's key.
And just take chances, and if you fail, you just get up and go. You just keep going and going and going. You take maybe 2 steps forward, half a step backwards. Sometimes you go 5 steps forward and 1 step backwards.
Of course.
So you just keep on going. And I've always been true to my brand. I've always out there trying to market. I could probably say if this logo here, the P right here, if anybody who grew up on the South Shore of Long Island, if you show them the logo, I'm pretty confident that I would get 75-80% of the people will be like, "Oh, that's Pantanos."
Yeah.
And that comes with, time and consistency. Obviously, also, if you don't do the right thing, I don't care what location you have. Everyone's like, "Oh, you have a great location," or this and that. Great, I have a great location for you to come in one time.
Yeah, exactly.
The phone doesn't ring by itself. Why does the phone keep ringing?
It's true.
Because they have confidence that when they order, it's going to get there in a timely fashion. The food's going to be fresh
and consistent, right? Consistency is huge.
Exactly. It's
So nothing really. So like you're never really inspired by the food industry. You were just a true entrepreneur, just coming in, and you kind of just went with this, right? And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, that I never, and I still don't go to work to make money. Mm-hmm. I truly don't. I go to work to make my customers happy and my employees happy, and everything else I think kind of falls into place after that.
It does.
Obviously, there's certain things that even if you make your customer happy and your employees happy and it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? But I just feel that this is what I tell all my employees if we have any meetings. I say, we have to give them a reason to come back. And if we don't give them a reason to come back, guess what? They're not going to come back.
They're not going to come back.
Nobody's doing me, I'm not doing anybody a favor by opening a store and charging, $7 for a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
There's other places that
you walk 5 feet one way, the other way, you'll find a place, right? It's
right, but I'm sure even you were telling me that in your business as well, I'm a customer first.
Yeah.
So I put myself on the other side. Is it okay to charge this much money? I say yes, as long as if you give them a $14 turkey sandwich, they're okay with it, but don't charge them $14 and then give them a $9 turkey sandwich.
It's true.
Because they're not going to be happy.
That's very true. And then you got to be consistent with it too, right? It's got to be delivered the right way every time, right?
Every time.
It's always key.
Every time.
And then Mike, you were telling me like when you were starting out in the beginning, and maybe you still do this now. I'm sure you guys still do this now. Like, staying outside of office buildings and, giving some free food away. I mean, how much has that led to your success, you think?
I think that's a huge part of it. Because whenever I open a store, I never sit in the store. I always go out with menus. I introduce myself. I give away free food. Let them try it because that's the best way. Once they try your food, if you're confident in your product, like you have training here, right? So you say, someone comes in and maybe they're on the fence whether or not they want to do it. Hey, you know what? Why don't you come in for 2 weeks?
Yeah, exactly.
Take the classes. At the end of the 2 weeks, you let me know. And I'm sure your retention rate for doing something like that is probably pretty good if you have a good product.
That's exactly.
And if it works for them.
Exactly.
But if not, like you say, you know what? Just give me $500, try it for 2 months, and then after the 2 months, let me know if you want to. No, I don't want to give you $5. I don't even know if I like it.
You're right.
So come in, try it. I'll give you a week pass. I'll give you a 2-week pass. Come in, try it, and let me know. And if a lot of people aren't coming back, then you have to say to yourself too, like, wait a minute, a lot of people aren't coming back. What do we need to do here to get these people to maybe come back?
And being confident in your product, right? And that's why, you're out there for office buildings giving away your food because you're confident in your product. And I'm sure this part matters a lot too and you're talking about yourself being a salesman, right? That part matters too, just naturally selling. But naturally selling isn't selling. It's more just like being a good person, right? And like really caring for these people, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think a natural salesperson makes you feel bad, like you're missing something if you don't get it.
Yes.
So like if you come into my store and let's say somebody just ordered a sandwich and then they canceled the sandwich, right? Oh, sorry, I don't want that anymore. Can you make me something else? Now the sandwich is already made. So what happens? The next customer that comes in,
you're selling.
What should I have? Oh, wow, I got something great
there
for you.
Go.
I got a turkey with bacon, tomato, and chipotle dressing on whole wheat toast. My favorite. Well, you know what? I'll take it.
There you go.
And
just enticing and leading that way. I love that. I love that.
They got it.
No, that's great. That's great, Mike. And then, so Mike, 95 was the first location. Take me from there. Like what happened after that? And
so 95 is when I opened up the Oceanside store. So like I said, that was a quick failure within.
So what did you learn from that? What did you learn from that?
I learned that I actually had to really know something. I couldn't like as a painter you could fake painting because you just paint it again.
Sure.
But if somebody comes in the store and they order something and it's wrong or it's not right or whatever the case may be, they're not coming back.
It's true.
So then I stored the stuff. I ended up finding something locally, and we opened up. That was the first Pantanos Gourmet, and then after that, it literally just took off. It got so busy in the Lawrence store that we were doing a lot of deliveries to the Hewlett area that I said, let me see if I can find a store in Hewlett.
Of course.
And next thing you know, a year later, I opened up in Hewlett, and then after that, it just, kept on, going. Once I felt comfortable with the staff and I was able to, not have to be there as much. I was always there.
Yeah.
But where I felt that the managers could handle it, I would always, like I said, I would leave, open a store, and then either sell it or do something, and then come back to home base, which was Hewlett, and I did that for Hewlett for 23 years.
Wow. And it sounds like really you just kind of went in there in consistency. And again, you're not there for the money. It's more just, putting in that work consistently. And then the stuff just kind of flourished, right? That's correct? I mean, that's what it sounds like.
Again, some luck here and there.
Of course, but that's...
And, I guess that comes with everything. Some bad luck as well. And believe me, any bad luck, in my opinion, is better than the good luck.
Why?
For instance, like if I get a bad review...
Yeah. You're right.
I learn more from a bad review
Yep.
than I do from a good review.
Yep.
So, for instance, like we never used to give you ketchup or utensils for the house.
Gotcha.
I'm like, they should have it. It's a house. They should have it at their house. Why am I going to go give it to you? And then, sure enough, I get a 1-star review. I can't believe it. We just ordered $80 worth of food. I just moved in, and now we don't have a fork. We don't have a knife. We don't have ketchup. We don't have this. We don't have that. I'm like, you know what? They're right. And
being open-minded, not stubborn, right?
That's 100%.
Because I think a lot of people are like that, right? And
I could tell you, I am a sponge.
Yeah.
I never think my stuff is the best, and we're not changing it. When I go away on vacation, when I go out to a restaurant, like we have a place in Clearwater, Florida, so we go to a breakfast spot there, and with the French toast, they give you cinnamon butter.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm like, wow. I'm like,
holy shit.
I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I go back, I'm gonna do it.
You guys did that?
And now we give away cinnamon butter.
I'm gonna come get some this week. I think.
Cinnamon butter, and like I said, to be so close-minded and be like, no, we're not doing anything. Oh, we're not gonna do this. Oh, we're not gonna do that. No, this is what it is. That's it.
Chokehold your business.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Like I said, whatever way I could, and if one of my employees suggests something, I'm like, hey, you know what? That's a good idea.
That's awesome too. I was going to talk about that too. Is like building your staff. We'll talk about that a little bit, but empowering your employees and let them, because they want to have a say, right? They want to have a say in it, and like closing them out is not good, right? So we always have open meetings with all my businesses, and ideas come up. Some of them get knocked out, of course, but some of them we take and we run with them. And I think that's important to do, and listen to people around you because they're in the day to day more than we are now, right? So that's always important. But Mike, opening up more than one location. I think a tough part for entrepreneurs is building your staff, building your team, and trusting your team, and making sure everything's in the right order, right? And walking away with that. So how did that work for you?
I think it really starts from the top, and that would be me on the top by really training them correctly. And I think that the majority of my staff, especially the upper part of my staff, really sees how much I care.
Gotcha.
Genuinely care. Like if I make a sandwich, I'm making it like I'm gonna eat it.
Gotcha.
I don't just slap it together. We don't put mayo just on the top. We put mayo on both sides. Same thing with the butter. Butter goes on both. And if I walk by one of my employees and he trying to be lazy and he's just putting it, that's not how we do it here. Butter goes on both sides. You know what I mean?
Of course, the little things matter.
Little by little, you train them to work a certain way. Like I feel like anybody that came and worked in our store, if they went to another location and said that they worked at Pantanos, I think it would be a positive for them because they say, oh, you know what?
Trained well. And,
maybe they trained well and,
That's awesome. And you're a testament right now, and I'm hearing this testament of like, I hate when people and business owners say this lately or saying, there's not enough workers out there. They're not good enough. They don't work hard enough. Like that's on you. That's on the owner to make sure that your staff is in place and they want to be there and you're encouraging them to be there and they're working for you. So I hate when people say that. Obviously, you don't have that problem. So how don't you have that problem, honestly? How do you?
Well, I still have that problem as far as not having, some of the employees. But like I said, I would say 90% of my employees are at a certain level.
Yeah.
And not only that, if you're not at that level when you come in, you probably won't last.
Exactly.
And for the first 2 weeks, if you work for me, I don't even say one word to you. Like literally, I'll say hello, obviously, good morning,
yes.
How are you? But I don't say anything. And then after the second week, I'm like, Mike, what are you doing? I'm like, that's how you're making a sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how they showed me. I call the other guy. That's how you showed him how to make a sandwich? I'm like, the cheese doesn't go on the bottom. Like if you put avocado on a turkey sandwich, you don't put the avocado on the bottom. You put the turkey on top, you don't see the avocado.
Of course.
You have to build it, and whatever the toppings are, you put it on the top so they see it. And again, and I think also explaining to them why, not say, just put it on the top.
Exactly.
The reason why we put it on the top is so that people see it. Of
course.
You order turkey, avocado, cheese, lettuce, and tomato. The
turkey
is the main star, but everything else is built on top of it. And like I said, like mayo or any dressing, we don't just put it on the top of the bread. You smush it together and you give
That's a differentiator too.
It makes a difference.
A lot of places don't do that, as silly as it sounds.
And a lot of times, I also like to say, like, the little things make the big difference. And, people focus on the big things. And, like, why are you focusing on that? Why are you focusing that you don't have anybody, like, walking in the door? What are you doing about it? Like...
I was at a conference last week. We were at a seminar with a bunch of gym owners across the country. And somebody said, I'm not sure exactly how it was quoted, but, like, do the simple things really, really good. And that's it. Like for success, for scale, it was Devin Gage of Engage. It was actually, I'm pretty sure it was him. He has about 8 gyms across the country now. And do the simple things really, really good. Like that's pretty simple, right?
Like a customer comes in, like, say hello.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
exactly.
What do you want? Like, hey, what's up? And then after a while, the guy comes in 2 times, 3 times. Hey, what's up, buddy? I've seen you here a couple of days. What's your name? Jim. Hey, Jim. What's up? I'm Mike. And next thing you know, hey, Jim, what's going on? And now...
And then, like, build a relationship, right?
Right. Like I said,
I'm going to my
customers aren't just one hits and they leave. No. You know what I mean? These people come back.
And if they're like, I'm going to my kid's game, picking up sandwiches next time I come in. How was the game? Stuff like that matters,
exactly.
Right?
Just little talk. But like I said, it's just certain stuff you can't really teach because they don't understand the value of it. Like,
of course.
Like the value of it. Like, your table should be clean. Like, when I walk into my store, so this is a perfect example. What my employees do. So if I walk into the back door at the bagel store, so my dishwasher is cleaning the dishes. As soon as he sees me, he knows that I'm going to go to the front and check the tables.
Oh, shit.
So I give him like 30 seconds. He grabs his rags and he goes to the front without me even saying anything. And then afterwards, I tell him nicely, it should have been done already.
Exactly.
It should be done already. Why are you waiting for me to come in? You know what I mean? It should be done already. And after a while, those conversations become less. Yeah. And it's already like, I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my breath. But if 1 out of the 10 times he hears me in his brain,
it's true.
Oh, I got to go clean the tables. Or I got to go check the bathroom. Or I got to check the soap. I got to check the napkins.
And it's how you present it to them too, right?
Yeah. That's the key.
You can't be a hothead like this. And I think that's where people will fail too. It's like, you can't yell at somebody like right away for that. Like, teach them first. Take responsibility. For me as an owner now, I realize over 10 years of doing business now, it's like if somebody's doing something wrong, it's probably my fault. Right?
Oh, it's 100%.
Exactly, right?
And that's what I usually start the conversation that, you know what, this is definitely my fault. Like 100% my fault. I'm struggling to try to make you understand why, this is important. Like, and the excuse that it's busy is not an excuse.
No.
Because if it's busy, the store's going to look like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
The customers are going to get bad service.
And then what?
The food's going to be shitty. Then what? I said, then we're not going to be busy anymore. And I always like to say this. This is probably the best thing I always like to say. So if I walk in the store, it's maybe upside down, this and that. Oh, we don't have this, or it's busy, there's not enough people. Okay, fine. Let's do this. If I was here and you weren't here, you were off today and I was here and it was busy like this, would the store look like this? And you know what they say? No. So then I'm like...
So treat it that way, right?
I'm like, you have all the tools in the toolbox. I said, you're trying to take off a Phillips screw with a monkey wrench. Get the right wrench and take it off,
No,
but that's certain things you can't teach. You can't teach.
It's hard.
I just walk in,
It's very hard.
And deal with it.
Now, Mike, all industries obviously have a lot of challenges, especially over the last years with everything shifting in the world, right? Food industry especially, right? So, like, what are some challenges you face where you might have felt like down and out for a day or two or whatever it is, and then you kind of rebounded?
I think the biggest challenge is now employees.
Yeah.
The employees, the willingness to work. I mean, like if I pay somebody $20 an hour and they're literally like working, making sandwiches, after in the rush, it gets busy. You know what I mean?
Of course.
There's a little pressure on you. He could go sit in an Uber and make $20 an hour.
It's true.
And have no pressure at all. You know what I mean? So how do you compete with these other jobs? So what do you have to do? You have to give them more PTO. give them more sick days, give them, more vacation time. Maybe you have to pay him more money. They get free meals, they grab drinks,
And then also the community and the culture that you bring to the table, right? That matters too, right? And the willingness to be there for the people.
Yeah, 100% the people, but ultimately it's just that the employee has changed where before, and you can probably say the same thing with your businesses. If one employee wasn't working correctly, you probably tell him, you know what, I don't need you. I'm sorry, this is, but actually I do need you. So I basically tell them. I always start the conversation when I speak to an employee is that maybe you don't realize this, how important you are to this business.
It's true.
Like you are so important to this business that you don't even realize when you don't show up or you come 2 hours late, it really affects the store. So, try to be on time. If you're running late, send us a text. If you're supposed to be in at 10, you sent me a text at 10:45 that I have a flat. Did you know you knew you had a flat at 9 o'clock when you woke up? So maybe the text should read, hey, I just realized I had a flat. I may be a little late.
Yeah.
Solves the problem. Now I could grab Mike from the kitchen. Mike, do me a favor. Sal's going to be late about an hour. Do me a favor. Jump in the front, cut the lettuce, tomato, and the cheese. When he comes in, jump into the back.
It's true.
Communication.
Yeah.
That's what I think is lacking too. The lack of communication. It's just like, I'm not a mind reader.
It's true. I know.
I'm like, if you have an issue with another employee or with the way, a procedure or something's being done, Mike, can I talk to you? And I'm approachable. I'm not that guy like, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you.
Of course. That's how you solve problems, right? Just confronting them.
It's just a challenge.
But a lot of people don't confront them. That's the problem. So, Mike, obviously you're a busy dude. You have a lot of stuff going on. And for every entrepreneur, this is tough. How do you balance your businesses and your family life? Like that's always a tough thing. To balance.
I'm married to my beautiful wife, Christina. 13 years we're married. We got 2 beautiful kids. My daughter, Felicia, she's 11. And my son, Milan, he's 9.
Awesome.
So when I had my daughter, I got married late. I got married at 39. I'm 52 now.
Okay.
So as soon as I had my daughter, I took myself off because when I had the Hewlett store, I also had a brick oven pizzeria.
Okay.
I had like 18 stores. So we were open until 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock, but I took myself off the schedule at night. So I would work until 5, 6 o'clock, and then I would be home.
Gotcha.
And now, with the bagel stores, yes, I'm up early, but I'm usually home for dinner every day.
Awesome.
I go to my son's soccer games. If I have to miss something, which is very rare, very, very, very
That's
rare,
awesome.
I am genuinely pissed off. Mad. Like, I got to miss my son's soccer game because you didn't show up.
Because exactly, something didn't happen, right?
Show up, you know what I mean? Or this, obviously, people are on vacation, this and that, I got to stay. But I'm good for 95%. My daughter's shows at the schools. I go to my son's soccer games, my daughter's cheerleading. I go to all of them. And even if that means I got to close the store early, I go. Family parties, I don't miss.
Gotcha.
Close the store.
That's important. Hey, that's awesome.
I know a lot of people that, have restaurants and this and that, and, they miss out on all this stuff. And, you have to figure out a way that you don't miss this stuff. Like, and
so what are you doing? What are you doing it for then, right? What are you doing it for?
Exactly. Like, I can't go here, I can't go there, I can't go this. And that's why I really stopped DJing, because I didn't want to rely on, working at night and on the weekends to make money, because I'm like, you know what, this is not good. This is
You're
not
miss out on too many things.
I don't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, understandable, of course. Mike, if you want to talk about this, the licensing model, like how did you come up with that? Because I know a lot of businesses are, at the point where they want to expand. They might be expanding, but how'd that come about?
I'm very confident. So the bagel store that I bought in Garden City Park too, I bought it like 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
Same.
On Jericho, that is, right?
Right, okay. On Jericho. Same exact situation. Everybody, again, they're just not running the store correctly. Like, they're just not giving, they're not giving the customer a reason to come back. Yeah. Even if you lower your prices, they're not going to come back. It doesn't make a difference. You need to give them service. It has to be clean, and the food has to be good. You don't have to be great.
You're right.
You don't have to be, oh my God, that was delicious. No. Oh my God, I'm licking the plate. You have to be good. You can't be bad, obviously.
Of course.
But again,
consistent, right? It's got to be consistent.
Right. And I'm sure you go to places that maybe isn't as good as the other place. But I'm going here because the other guy's an asshole.
And you know what you're getting every time,
right? The guy's a dick. You know, I'm not going there. I'm not going to give that guy money. He doesn't appreciate my business.
We've had those experiences plenty of times.
He doesn't appreciate my business. So why am I going to come here? Because you make a great slice of pizza? I'll go somewhere else.
There's pizza everywhere.
Right. I'll go somewhere else.
I know, and that's people don't understand that, and it bothers me a lot, honestly. Why can't you just over deliver on your service?
But
right?
It's not that, like I said,
and make it right.
I don't. And this is what pisses me off the most out of everything. So now, with COVID happens, all this stuff happens, food goes through the roof, whatever the case may be. But now, there's no reason to charge $18 for a Caesar salad when you go out to dinner.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it.
No.
There's literally no reason for it. And that's what pisses me off the most. And my wife's like, oh, I don't understand why. I go, Christina, a case of romaine is $30.
Yeah.
He used not even a head of romaine, which cost him 50 cents, and he just charged $18.
I know. That's a little sickening.
They're like, oh, the employees. Is okay. I understand. I'm in the same boat as you, but there's no reason for an $18 Caesar.
Don't use it as an excuse and don't take advantage of it, right?
Right. I feel like they're taking advantage even when they shouldn't be taking advantage.
Because then what are you gonna do when it really raises up again? Then what are you gonna do?
Right. Eggs just went through the roof recently.
Yeah.
So I'm already high on my egg sandwiches. I don't mean high meaning I'm at where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So now when eggs went from $60 to $140 a case, I order 40 cases a week. It cost me an extra $2,000 for 4 weeks straight.
So
what was I supposed to do? I didn't raise it. I said I can't raise it anymore. How much more can I keep raising?
How much you gonna pay for an egg sandwich, right?
Exactly. I'm like, how
That's
much?
what we were saying last meeting with us. Like, how much you gonna pay for a burrito? $20? Like, it's like
people are like, oh, well, that's what
nuts.
I need. No, so I have to make less money.
It is what it is.
Obviously you don't want to do it to the point where you're not making enough money.
Do you have a certain percent margin you're looking for every item, or no?
Not really.
No. Okay.
Not really.
Okay.
I think, like I said, I try to stay, even keel with what's going on.
We just looked over our menu. We were looking at some items that we got rid of because they weren't being sold too often, and then number two, they were really high in our value. We didn't even realize it. So we went through every single item, and it definitely helped us out a little bit. And we're trying to focus on that now.
Right.
But yeah, it's the one thing about the restaurant industry which sucks is that you really can't control that, right? You can't control the food costs. You don't know what it's going to be.
But how do you compete or how do you explain to the customer, which they should already know because I think we're an example of what quality is supposed to be, but we use only Philadelphia cream cheese.
Yeah.
Philadelphia cream cheese is double the amount of money as the other off-brand.
The big tubs that are off-brand.
We use Hellman's Mayo, only Hellman's Mayo. Hellman's Mayo went from $30 to $90.
Fucking triple.
My distributor said to me, do you want to switch to our brand? I said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I said, I got to raise, so you raise 50 cents and you bring back, try to recover whatever it is. And all across the board, everything. We use only Boar's Head. I know there's this stuff going on with Boar's Head. Boar's Head is the number one product.
That's it.
That's what it is. It's the number one product, and people don't want to carry it before because it's too much money. So now you come in, I give you Boar's Head ham with Boar's Head American cheese, with Hellman's Mayo, with lettuce and tomato on a fresh semolina hero, and I charge you $14.95. Now you go to the bodega, and they get the same exact thing with Hormel ham, which is $2 a pound. My Boar's Head ham is $7 a pound. Bullshit cheese, not Hellman's Mayo, a soft hero that tastes like shit, and they charge you $8, and people come in and be like, "Oh my God, you're ripping me off."
Yeah, that's crazy. And you notice the difference, and it's funny because my wife actually, we noticed like the last couple of months, like some places are doing that. You can tell right away, right? So it's like I don't want to.
Mike, I haven't changed not one ingredient to save money. I will never compromise quality over money. You have to pay a little bit more.
You have to take that approach because 90% of the people are taking the other approach.
Yes, that's what they're
that's
doing.
Where you can win.
Why, like I said, you go to a high-end restaurant, a steakhouse, and you ask for a side of mayo, and it tastes like. I'm like,
come on. Especially at a high-end steakhouse, how much they're charging, right? I know.
I'm like, really?
I know.
I'm like, oh, ketchup. Like ketchup on the table, like they don't even have Heinz. I'm like,
yeah, it's like unacceptable.
You charge me $18 for a burger and fries, and you don't have Heinz ketchup.
Yeah, no, it's unacceptable. It really is. And like, I'm not one because we're business owners. I won't obviously complain publicly or anything like that. But I'll tell the person, I'll be like, listen, like this is kind of, it's kind of weird that you guys would do that. Honestly,
right?
We're coming here for a really good quality meal, and
it's just like, and it happens more often than it should.
For sure.
I mean, more often than it should.
For sure,
like
it does.
I said, places are charging over $5 for a regular slice of pizza now.
I know. It's insane.
And I'm like, now, once you start doing that, like, you really need to back it up.
You have to.
You have to back it up, because if not, you know what they're going to say? It's overpriced and it's really not that good.
It's true.
Because they're basing it on the price now. Oh my God, $5.50 for a regular slice of pizza.
And it'll expose you faster.
And now as they're eating it, $4 for a 20-ounce soda. So a regular slice and a 20-ounce soda is over $9.
Where did I go the other day? What did I get? Oh yeah, the other day I saw 7-Eleven. I got a protein shake and a protein bar, whatever.
Right.
It used to be like $5, and I use my card sometimes, and I was using cash, and I was rung up, and it was like $10.50 for a protein bar and a shake, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, when did this happen? I didn't even realize it.
Well, you brought up a good point too. So everybody's paying with their card, and the majority of the time they don't realize.
They don't realize it, right?
They just hand the card, and that's it. And then, like I said, sometimes I don't even try to explain to them. I tell them, listen, I don't know what they do there. I know what I like. Tuna fish.
That's how you got to do it.
Tuna fish. I use solid white albacore tuna, Hellman's mayo, and celery. That is it. I don't put bread in it. I don't mix it with a dark tuna. I don't get a chunk light. And a case of a tuna that I use is $90. The other tuna is $35.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell the difference.
Same amount.
No, you can tell the difference for sure. So Mike, there's a lot of young entrepreneurs out there in the food industry, or might want to get into the food industry. What's your biggest advice you can give a young kid?
My biggest advice for anybody, whatever business, especially the food business, is before you commit as far as monetarily and your mind, go work. Go work. If
great advice.
I want to open a bagel store. I love when people say, when I retire, I'm going to open a bagel store.
You retire? Yeah.
Okay, I said, let me know how that works. I ran into a couple of people that did something like that, and I said, okay, let me know how it works. How you see them like 3 months later, and you know what they say? Why the fuck did I do that?
Exactly.
And I said, I told you. Oh, no, I'm going to have my brother-in-law run it for me. Oh, my sister's going to run it for me. And then what happened? My brother-in-law's an asshole. I don't talk to my sister anymore. I'm like, I told you, you can't do it.
No, that's great advice, Mike. I always say that too. Like when you're younger and you're starting out, like, okay, go to somewhere where you want to be like. Work for them. Who cares what you get paid?
Oh, so
gain the experience.
So funny you say that. So when I started DJing, I wanted to work for the best DJ company.
There you go. So you can learn.
I could learn.
Yes, exactly.
So back then there was 2 DJ companies. There was EJM and there was Heart to Heart. So I went for an interview for EJM, and I remember going into the room. The guy's name happened to be Mike also. So we sit down, we start talking, and then was talking about pay, this and that. So I stopped him. I said, Mike, just so you know, I said, you don't have to pay me anything.
There you go.
He said, what do you mean? I said, no, I'll work for free. I'll work for free for like the first month. He's looked at me, he's like, no, I can't do that. I said, I have to pay you. But I'm saying, just so you know, if you want, you don't have to pay me. And another thing too, this is how I built my DJ company too. So I would go to the house, and I would meet you and your bride-to-be. We would start talking, and they would tell me, where the party is and how many people. So they would tell me, we're doing Russo's on the Bay, Saturday, July 14th, whatever. We're going to have like 180 people. So as soon as they have 180 people, I'm like, I'm going to get some more customers out of this. So, all right, you know what? I normally get $1,500 for this party, but I'll do it to you for half price for $750.
There you go, because you're advertising to these people.
Exactly. Right? So now they're paying me to advertise. And next thing you know, I'm confident that I'm going to get another party here.
Just do a good job.
Get it, and that's exactly how I did it in the beginning.
It's a good point.
And I did it. And I'm like, $1,500. That's a little bit too much. Okay, no problem. Leave. I just lost the party. So now I did it for $750. And that $750, who knows how many parties.
How much it multiplied, right?
Oh, forget about it.
Yeah, and that's what people can understand, especially if you're young in the beginning. They want to make all the money.
But you can't teach that.
Exactly. You can. I guess you can. I guess you can. But it's like, just go get the experience. That's your money right there. Right. That's your value, right?
So now that when I went to go work for EJM, they already had the music sheets. They had all the equipment set up. They had this. They had that. So my job was easy now.
Yeah.
Take a picture. I'm going to do it just like this.
Perfect.
My DJ facade, I'm going to do it just like this. The music list. Oh, can I see that list? Take a picture. Take a photocopy of it. Change the name on the top to my name.
That's it.
And boom, done.
The most successful people always just copy the people above them. That's all it is. What's so hard about that, right? Nothing wrong with that.
I'm giving credit to them. They do a great job.
Exactly.
I don't need to know what kind of amp I need to buy. That's 100%. The amp they use. I'm sure they did their research.
We go to gyms all the time, still to this day. How can we improve? right? We go into gyms and take classes or our staff. What are they doing here that we could do a little bit better, right? Like
100%.
And keep on pressing yourself with that, right?
And every day I try to make it easier for my employees and better for my customers.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And just these people, they don't get it. Like I could go into, and again, I'm not trying to sound cocky, but I could probably go into 9 out of 10 failing bagel stores and bring their revenue up 20% within 3-4 months.
Yeah, I mean, you've done it. So
I would guarantee that. Yeah. So if anybody listening has a store that maybe needs a little, reinvention in it, as long as you're willing to work, if you're willing to work and learn, I could guarantee you that I could increase your sales and cut your labor.
Amazing.
Guaranteed.
All right, we'll hold you to it. Hopefully there's some people that reach out to you. I hope so.
Like I said.
So Mike, future, like Pantanos, what do you see it? Do you want to keep it as is? Do you want to grow more stores? Do you want to step away more? What's the you don't really know, day by day?
I don't really know. Maybe soon or like sooner than later, maybe I'll sell this brand and maybe start another brand.
Cool.
Maybe.
Just day by day, basically.
Yeah, day by day. I don't really have any, I'm never, people like always ask me like, oh, so what was your business plan for the store? Business plan. I'm like, no business plan. I opened a store and I work.
And you worked, you figured it out.
I figured it out. I do
problems
payroll,
come, you figure it out.
I do HR, payroll, inventory. I work the grill. I help customers. I put sodas away. I sweep. I mop. I fill the tables. I clean the tables.
Connect all the dots, basically, right?
I do everything. You know what I mean? And maybe if I was a little bit more organized, my wife tells me all the time, "You're so unorganized." I'm like, it works. I'm like controlled chaos.
Same here.
Like literally controlled chaos.
It's always going to be chaos, though, right?
And when it's calm, I don't like it. I don't like a clipboard to do the order for the paper goods. Like no, I literally have it in my head, and I walk around the store and I do it. Like why don't you have so and so do it? Because if I have so and so do it, I still got to check it.
Yeah.
So this way I don't have to check it.
It's tough.
And I know what's in the store.
No, it's tough for sure. Well,
it's challenging, but
this is awesome, Mike. I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thank you for
really
having
appreciate
me.
you telling your story. And if anybody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach out to you?
So you could go on either one of the websites for Pantanos Does Bagels. It's ilovegreatbagels.com.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Did you buy that or no?
Yeah.
You had to, right? Of course.
And then my slogan also is Eat Bagels, Be Happy.
Cool.
And then pantanosgourmet.com. And my slogan for that store is we love to make you happy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.